Guinea-Bissau just held one of the most important elections in its history, and the stakes are way bigger than who gets the presidential palace. On Sunday, people lined up to vote for a new president and parliament in a country that has seen more coups and attempted coups than peaceful handovers of power. Incumbent President Umaro Sissoco Embaló is trying to do what no leader there has done in decades: win a second consecutive term and stay in office, arguing that he's finally bringing stability. On the ballot with him are 11 challengers, but the one to watch is Fernando Dias, the fresh face backed by the historic PAIGC movement that led the country's independence struggle. That party, though, was barred from running in its own name after authorities said they filed paperwork late. Opponents call that late excuse a tactic to keep the strongest alternative off of the field and clear the way for Embalo, especially after he already dissolved parliament once and accused lawmakers of plotting a coup. All of this is happening in a state that's become a key transit point for cocaine moving from South America to Europe. When your country turns into a narco corridor, it's not abstract, it distorts politics, it corrupts the security forces, and it turns whole neighborhoods into battlegrounds as traffickers buy protection and loyalty. Embalo insists he's cracking down and denies any link between his government and drug trafficking, though. His critics say you can't talk the rule of law while sidelining rivals, reshuffling judges, and ruling by decree. The turnout looks solid and voting was mostly calm, but nobody is pretending this is a fair, level playing field. If no one clears 50%, the country heads to a runoff, and that's when tensions usually spike, because that's the moment when opposition parties have to decide whether they trust the process or take people into the streets. For ordinary Guineans, this isn't about democracy as a slogan. It's about whether salaries arrive on time, whether soldiers stay in their barracks instead of seizing power again, and whether drug money or real votes decide who runs the state. For the rest of the world, it's another quiet test of whether multi-party politics in West Africa is still real, or if incumbents can keep rewriting the rules until elections are just a pretty backdrop for a one-man show. That pattern is bigger than one country, and what happens here will echo across a region that's already on edge. If you believe independent journalism like this matters, consider supporting the show through Patreon or a YouTube membership with added perks. For as little as $1 a month, you can help us keep telling the stories that go far beyond the headlines and bringing valuable information to the masses. We don't have big donors or sponsors. We are truly building this pure and from the ground up. If you've gotten something out of these videos, please consider becoming a supporter today, and be sure to follow the show so that you don't miss any new updates.